What's happening, bulls? Let's go. Chilling, we're live. Yep. Cool. Cracking it. Let's just seeing if we got the connection. Let's see. Is it on? Where's the screen? Yep, there we go. What's happening, bulls? Just gonna have a look at some trades and a trade that I have on, pretty decent size, 15k USD. Solana trade. It's up 3.5 grand at the moment USD, so it's probably 5,000 Australian. Was higher. I'm just gonna look for some TPs. You got to decide on the TPs. Always got to decide on the TPs before it happens and plan it. I'm just double checking. Have a look at this trade. I'll let you study the screen for a second while I just make sure the volume's all sweet. So have a look at that. Ps. Always got to do all the TPs before it happens. And yeah, that looks sick. Alright, we're on. I'm just hanging out. You can hang out. Let's hang out. We'll just chill. We will chat, chill, talk. I'm not doing a hell of a lot. Just working. Just on the crypto, on the charts. Just grinding on the Saturday. I'm playing golf tomorrow. That'll be good. Come join me live. Posting it in the Telegram here. We're going to go through a couple of pretty important things today. If you want to make money trading crypto, you want to be around for the good times. The good times are right now. These are the good times. It doesn't seem like it, but at the start of the good times, people are starting to notice. There's blips, especially around Christmas time. There was a big blip. Watch live. Ask questions. Let's talk crypto. There we go. Yeah, so it's a really good time to be in crypto, but you can tell that's the way it works. This is the way it works. Is that interest? Think about your own brain right now. So it comes and goes. You finally get interested in crypto at these certain times, and then it happens to be the tops, and then you're like, why aren't I here for the good times? And then you want to make it work because you've seen how much money that can be made, and you can see how easily the money can be made. The easiest thing for me is to just be around and involved the whole time, non-stop. Just staying in crypto. But, some people, your interest comes and goes, but just see if you could reprogram your brain to have the interest not at the most exciting points and start sort of forcing yourself into interest at times like now, for example, where the charts coins are trending up. Let's have a little look here. Look at this. So this is Solana trade. 4-hour chart, 1 candle equals 4 hours. Let's zoom out. 1 candle equals 1 day. This goes back to April, where Solana made a low of under $100. Did you get any then? Let's have a little look at the trade that's currently on and just the trajectory of this chart. So this is a ByBit chart. So I'm not going to do our best TA here, but you can just see clearly that the Bs, this was an entry and exit. We didn't do that. This is the entry for the Solana. So we bought it very, very, very good time. Nailed the entry, if you will. Look at this. Where are we? Where's the B? Look at that. Okay, so that's big, that's huge, that's a crazy entry, and we entered with size. It was it started off as a 30x trade. We entered right here. We got the signal we needed. We got what we needed to see. Started trending up. Quite well, and then I realized, okay, yes, this is now a change of trend. Let's add a bit of size here. So trade obviously went really well, really high. We're up probably, I think it was maybe $10,000 Australian or something like that. But the money's made in two things. Okay, well, there's a whole process to it, right? Buying, holding, and selling. So you can break down those three qualities, those three characteristics, those three journeys. So the buying is the choice that you make at the start, where it is way more of an important choice than you realize. So the importance of the choice of buying is the fact that you don't need to buy. You're not forced into any sort of actions whatsoever. When it comes to selling, you can be easily, and many times are forced into selling, whether you want to or not. Whether it's you force yourself to take a profit, you've hit a stop loss, the market's forced you out of it. The only true 100% decision that you get to make is the buy. the entry point. So if you can make that with some sort of planning, some sort of strategy, some sort of idea what you're doing, then it's honestly starting the trade on the right foot, and you're increasing your chance of success dramatically, absolutely dramatically, because it's the only time where you get to be 100% in control of your decision of the trade. Then the money is made in the holding. I mean, look at this again. Look at this. Look at the emotional roller coaster that it's already been. And this isn't really a massive, like, we're already, so you can see here, liquidation price quite tight because it's 40x leverage right now. You can see up here 40x leverage. So I'll bring the stop loss to entry. I'm not going to lose anything anymore. And I've already taken profit about $500 here. And that was part of the plan, where in case the trend started breaking down, so you can see here, the trend started breaking down. I just wanted to make the trade a win. I wanted to make the trade a win, so we locked in $500. So that brought the total of the trade from, like, I think it was like 20k US down to 15k US. We've locked in some TP, and now if it goes down, we're going to be forced into just having a $500 win. But the journey of it is the second part of the trade, where it's the difficult part, and not the most difficult part. The most difficult part is the selling, for two reasons, because either your greed kicks in and you have to sell, follow the plan hopefully, and take profit, knowing that it could go higher, always can go higher, or you have to sell and you have to take a loss, which is one of the most difficult parts of the trade as well. So all three aspects of the trade are difficult. The holding is the tough one, because I'm looking at this right now. Again, I'm looking at this. Okay, it's been 2nd of August, so we've had this trade going for pretty much the whole month. But it's up $3,000 US. That's $5,000 Australian. I'm not gonna say that I don't want that. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to use that. Planning a Japan trip right now, so that's what's. I'll be like, hey, yo, that was pretty easy. $5,000. It is what it is. On to the next trade, which is very attractive as well. I like to not have too many going at once these days. I do have a Pengu one going at the moment, which isn't going too well because my entry was shit. I FOMO'd into that one a little bit, so everybody's still learning. We're always learning. I've been doing this for 7 years now. I've made lots of money. I've lost lots of money. I've spent lots of money, and I'm still going, and I'm still learning every single day, writing stuff down, and using the blockchain bulls as a forum to express what I've learned, see if it helps anybody. Hopefully it does. But as far as this, I mean, I said on the blockchain bulls a little while ago that I'm eyeing off $240 Solana as a minimum, and I just want to show you a bit of a TP strategy for basing around that. We can go over to the Solana chart over here, so we'll get out of that. Excuse the mess, but let's have a little look here. I'm just going to delete some of this because it's extremely messy, obviously, because we talk about this a lot and we talk about what's going on. But you can see here, well, even just here, right, we drew this right here on that video that we did last week. I said it's going to go up to the top of the channel. Sometimes, anything can happen, but these are relatively predictive a lot of the time, these charts, keeping that in mind. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flick over to a different chart, okay, of Solana. That's Bitcoin. We'll talk about that shortly. But here's a Solana chart, okay? 1 candle equals 4 hours. I'm just going to lay it out to you, my ideas, my thoughts, my process, and I'm going to put on some, I'll put these take profits on after, but we'll talk about the process and the thoughts the thought train. So we'll go over to a daily chart here. So one candle equals 1 day. This is the Solana chart. It's quite an unorthodox chart. It's very range bound, very stuck in the mud, has been. It's really earning its place. You know, all the eyes have been on Ethereum. You can draw a range quite easily when it comes to charts, you know, like something like this, nothing's going to be perfect. But once you do it for a bit, you realize, well, if you can contain 80, 90% of all price action, people get too caught up on these overreaches, these price overreaches, whether it's highs or lows, liquidation events. You can draw a range by just grabbing 90 or 80% of the price action and just squaring it off. There you go, you've got yourself a range. And for the last 6 months, pretty much, you know, you're short, you're long. Now, things do happen like this, and you can draw a range like that if you want. So this will change a lot of things. It's all dynamic, okay? The rules and the laws of technical analysis, this is where people fuck up as well. You need to be able to adjust it. You need to be able to take it into account. It's not. This is where perfectionists struggle. People that think in certainties. If this says this, this must do this. You're going to have to really completely change your way of thinking, and that's why many autistic or just bookworms, scholars. They don't do too well when it comes to this sort of stuff. You got to be able to adjust, and you got to be able to move your thoughts and emotions. A lot of the time, the faster that you jump on the other side of the fence, from long to short, or you change your ideology, change your thought process, the more successful that you will be. If people look for, like a lot of very intelligent people, you know, doctors and stuff like that, if you want to class them as that, they just talk in certainties. Okay, so they want to get to the bottom of a problem, and they follow their pipeline, their process, and they get there eventually with whatever means of decision making. They follow their decision trees. This got this got this, yes, this will do this is this, engineers, etc. It's not the case. It's not the case in technical analysis whatsoever. With technical analysis, you need to be able to adjust, change your mind, understand, interpret. Think of it almost as a living beast. Think of it as something that's alive, moving, adapting, changing, you know. Like things can happen, anything can happen at any time. Somebody can just, one country can nuke another country, some country can bring out a law, and the whole dynamic will shift. It's going to completely change. If you have a strategy, most market environments will fit into one of, you know, a handful of categories. And if you've got a trading strategy that fits each one of those market dynamics and the way that the market is acting at that time, if you can characterize and then work out the trades that market has at that time, and then you can, you know, give that market a category and then implement a trading strategy that suits the current market conditions, then you'll most likely have a lot of success. So right here we've got Solana. Okay, so I'm just going to do it. We're going to just take it as 2 ranges here. Okay, so 2 ranges, and I'm liking it here. For the one, I'm liking it here. Oh, see, this is a tough one. This is what I was saying. Solana's an unorthodox chart, very unorthodox chart. You can see this ranged for quite a long time. This is months. This is no, you know, it's no walk in the park. It's not an easily broken range. This was in there from March all the way. So the majority of last year, Solana spent the time between 180 and 120 just bouncing. All the Solana holders will remember that. We had a large expansion of volatility, double top, okay, and then down lows, so a complete trend change. This Solana chart from around Christmas time made highs of 295 and went down 67%, so 2/3 down. For this to go back up, it's a 210%, 211% gain. Massive. Now talking about now, obviously we made some bottoms probably some large bullish divergence on this if we bring in the Giga RSI indicator that I made, and then you can access. There would have been some pretty large bullish divergences around this time period, I would imagine. Where are we? Yep. Just looking at these times, these lows. Oh, not really. Exaggerated divergence, they call this, equal lows. I wouldn't really count that. Another good strategy, a good trait of a bottom is clearly some low wicks below significant price points. So breaking down from 100 into under, and then everybody recognizing that the power of Solana and knowing how powerful Solana is, how big of a market, how large of a role it plays in the crypto market, the altcoin market, and then knowing that it's under $100 is going to be a steal in hindsight. And then moving on from a channel, you can see that. Similar sort of scenario, fit most price action into a channel. Break up. Now we're back into the range. Now, let's look at it like this. So, as we talk about trends and channels, similar to ranges, if you can fit most 90% of the price action within that channel, it's going to be a channel and it's going to be a trend. Now, most channels end with a parabolic move. Some don't, but again, most. Okay, you can see that's the channel. And what did it finish with? So as we've gone through many times, and I will continue to, so I love it. The standard trend is, the standard price action is a range, followed by a trend, then the multiple stages of the trend finishing with a parabolic finish, followed by a range, followed by a taken of the lows of that range, and then a decision whether the trend is going to continue higher or reverse. And that's what I'm expecting to happen with Solana here, something like this. Now, when I say $240 price target, what I'm going to set after this, I want to make a video of it. This is what I'm doing right now, just to talk about the process behind the taking of the profit. Is I'm looking into this previous range where it was here, so this previous price range where we had lows, we had highs, and what I'm going to do is draw a classic G box. Feel free to reach out and get the settings from me. There we go, we're drawing a G box here, and we're just going to look for the highs of that range. That's good right there. That's good right there. Alright, so let me clean this up for you a little bit just so we can focus on the G box that I just drew. Alright, have a look at this G box here. This is a range, dissected, if you will. A dissected range. Okay, so we've typically got the range mean or median, typically the median, and then we've got lows, we've got the lows that work as resistance, we've got the lows that work as supports, and again resistances. We've got the same up here, resistances. So the highs are typically going to fall into one of the two categories, and the lows are going to typically fall into one of the two categories when we're playing within this range, and we're not talking about this other range. So we've just slowly trended. A lot of the time you'll get a steep break from range to range. You know, this one's just grinding higher, which is definitely a bullish characteristic. When I say 240, you can see that this line here, whereas there's more or less good take profits, great take profits, excellent take profits, and in the same breath, it's good shorts, great shorts, excellent shorts. In the past, that has been the case. But if we look here, just a solid, this has come on down to the line of 239. So this is where the first lot of resistances are really going to kick in. I mean, there are going to be resistances here in this median line here. It's just typically that's what happens, but they're not going to be the strongest. The biggest resistances are going to come into here. So what I like to do is I like to get a little bit of an average. Okay, so I want to get like, depends on the volatility of the asset. Solana's medium vol sort of asset. And I like to get between 2 and 5%. I'm just seeing having a little look at it, seeing how it looks here. Something around the lines of maybe 5% break. So what's going on here is I'm going to take profits, and it's going to be 5%, give or take both ends, from my expected TP point, and I'm more or less going to take majority of my profits at this. So I'm going to take, basically I'm going to break it down. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the meat of the profits here, I'm going to break it down into percentages. Okay, so I'm going to take, where's the previous, what are we looking at here? 300 all-time high. So this is a trade, not a long-term hold. Let's just keep that in mind. This Solana trade that I've got going on, it's a trade, not a long-term hold. It's fucking 40x trade. See over here, 40x trade. You saw me. Let's look over here. Where are we? You saw me talk about it. You want to see some details of me posting it. Yeah, 40x trade, 11x. It started as a 30x trade, and I freed up a little bit of margin. Alright, this was at its highs. Looking at the Telegram group, this is looking like a lower, a higher low with a double bottom, doesn't it? It looks nice. That looks quite nice. So what I want to do here is more or less set in a scaled order of sells. Just chalk it up. Boom. With a large majority of my TPing done right here. It's just spread between here and here, because there is a good chance that this is a top. It could be just a big lower high, and we want to account for that, and we want to lock in profits, and we want to make gains. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to scale out 70% of the trade. 70, big, huge, 70% of the trade. Now you can do this for all of it, bang, bang, bang. But once this is the most important, obviously, because it's 70% of the trade. So once I've taken 70% of the trade out, there's a little bit less, pressure, if you will. You can definitely scale the whole way, but we're just going to use our knowledge to pinpoint some areas. Boom, and boom. Alright, so if Solana makes these 270, I mean, Solana could just run, it could roar. It could definitely just roar and continue pumping. But we're just going to free it up, and there's always another trade, alright? So we want to be just, here's a good one to remember. If you wouldn't buy it at these points, at these areas, then you must seriously consider taking profit, because how can you expect other people to? I know obviously there's euphoria and all that sort of stuff, but this is when you start really taking it into consideration. Is if you wouldn't buy it at this area, maybe you should short it, maybe you should sell it, maybe you should TP. I think somebody's here. I'm going to wrap that up, and that's where I'm going to set my TPs. So take it easy, peace and love, talk soon.